Mm-hmm.
because of course we were not brand.
Yeah.
They didn't know our background and they didn't know whether to show their product to us or not. Right. So 12 years back, we wanted to come up with something where we tell people as to what is new in the city in the lifestyle category. बस numbers के पीछे नहीं भागना चाहिए in terms of creating a number. So my suggestion to the entrepreneurs would be that they.
So Pankaj sir,
Yeah.
welcome to our show.
Thank you.
Sir, I wanted to ask that CityShor started in year 2013,
Right.
and now it has been more than a decade since it started.
True.
So basic question comes that how did you first get into this industry of digital media, and how did you started off this business? What were the thoughts that went behind?
Right. So 12 years back, we wanted to come up with something where we tell people as to what is new in the city in the lifestyle category. So we were thinking about it. We thought of coming up with magazine
Mhm.
where we will talk about what has happened in the last week and what is going to happen in the forthcoming week. So we started thinking of doing a magazine, but we kind of found the possible challenges in doing the magazine, which is distribution, printing, and people were moving to the entire digital world, which is where we thought of creating content and putting up on a platform where most of the people are there anyways, which is social media, essentially talking Facebook.
Yeah.
Way back.
Yeah.
So that's how we started curating content related to food, fashion, home decor, travel, events, entertainment, and people started appreciating our content because while today you have information overload from different bloggers talking about a lot of things on Instagram,
Yeah.
way back then there was no such information, there was no such platform.
Oh,
So it
yeah.
kind of clicked with people and people started appreciating, and that's how I guess started working with us.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, when you started off this business,
Mhm.
what were the challenges that you faced back then? Because starting off this in coming into this industry, first of all, was a big step.
Right.
So, what were the challenges? What were the things that you faced and overcome at that point in time?
I think the basic problem that we faced was that people were a little skeptical about getting featured.
Yeah.
So while people understand the value of getting featured, getting promoted on social media, way back then people were a little skeptical. They didn't know who we are
Mm-hmm.
because of course we were not brand.
Yeah.
They didn't know our background and they didn't know whether to show their product to us or not,
Okay.
whether it will get, whether people, so people were basically skeptical about it.
Mm-hmm.
And we faced challenges in terms of when you used to visit a restaurant and started taking photographs, they were not, let's just say, comfortable with the entire
Yeah.
field. Yeah. Today, while
Bit
people
more
want us to
conscious.
take
Yeah.
the photographs and everybody kind of, takes photograph of the photo of the food,
Mm-hmm.
way back then it was a little difficult and a little unique to them, and they were a little uncomfortable with the entire field.
Okay.
That was one. Second, people were not very, let's say, the dealers or the retailers or the restaurateurs, they were not very comfortable with the feel of promoting their product and paying for it.
Okay.
They didn't know the value of social media.
Yeah.
Eventually, over a period of time, of course, everybody is into social media today and everybody
Definitely.
understands the value of social media promotion.
Yeah.
उस समय ऐसा नहीं था.
Hmm.
So that was again a challenge. That is, making money out of it was also a challenge.
Okay.
Yes.
So sir, अगर सिटी शोर को हायर करना है कि इफ आई एम ऑर्गेनाइजिंग एन इवेंट
Mhm.
लेट्स टेक सिंधु भवन,
Right.
सो व्हाट आर द स्टेप्स दैट वेंट बिहाइंड, और क्या क्या हमें करना पड़ता है, हाउ डू आई कांटेक्ट सिटी शोर एंड हाउ डज इट गो?
Oh, it's very easy. You simply contact us. We are there on website. I mean, our numbers are flashed on our social media platforms and website and all. You just
Okay.
have to call us and tell us the kind of event and when are you coming with this event.
Okay.
Essentially, ideally, you should contact us 7-10 days back or 7-10 days in advance
Okay.
so that we can plan a good promotion for you.
Mm-hmm.
And depending upon the kind of product or the kind of exhibition event that you have, we will suggest you the way you should be promoted on CityShor as well as on the other platform that you should be using to ensure that you get the right kind of a footfall.
That's a great thing, because
Yeah.
nowadays what happens is that people want to organize events.
Right.
They hire event managers and organizers.
Right.
But to hire a person or a team that is totally apt for it, it is a
Right.
difficult task. And
It is.
people are nowadays planning each and every event. They are planning it on a mega scale.
Right.
Like we saw Anant Ambani's wedding.
Mhm.
So though it was so on a high scale, but talking about the normal people nowadays too, they are organizing events and they are thinking about, so it gets a thing that कैसे करना है ये सब चीजें.
Right.
So
So CityShor and such platforms are essentially, in a way, a boon to the local businesses,
Mhm.
especially small businesses,
Okay.
Small businesses way back then and today, and I'm sure 10 years down the line, they'll not be able to afford radio,
Mm-hmm.
newspaper, and hoarding and such platforms. They're expensive. The ROI is pretty less as compared to the investment.
Mm-hmm.
So we like CityShor is where we kind of, people have started appreciating because we were giving them the kind of benefit they were not expecting,
Okay.
especially the small events and small exhibitions, small restaurants,
Mm-hmm.
local restaurants and all.
Mm-hmm.
They were benefited and they're still benefited through us because of the ROI or the kind of investment they make in us and the kind of return they get, which is
Yes.
essentially not possible with the
The
bigger events and that kinds.
How do you see the business of CityShore growing in upcoming years? Like, what are the new ventures that CityShore will be having in upcoming years, and which are the locations that you might be targeting? Or particular, if we talk about events, like you are in lifestyle, you have a plethora of events that you organize. So
We
you
don't
cover
organize,
actually.
yeah.
So how do you see CityShore growing in the upcoming 5 to 10 years?
So I think CityShore is directly linked with the social media or digital media.
Okay.
So the way they will grow, we will kind of ride on to it.
Okay.
Or we will diversify in different ways of coming up with content or different ways of distributing the content, but we will remain in the same. And um, as new kind of new platforms gets introduced or the new ways of promoting things or presenting things will keep getting introduced, we'll kind of pile on it, and we will keep expanding.
Okay.
So, for example, not exactly diversifying, but we'll be diversifying in a different way in the same domain. So, while in food, we will possibly come up with different ways of presenting it,
Mm-hmm.
where we can also possibly come up with. We are, of course, working on an app where people will be able to revisit all the things that we have done in past, so
Okay.
that it works more like the saved
Uh-huh.
version of
Wow,
Instagram in a way. So
that's a
we are
great
working
thing.
on it, and I think that will be a good thing for people to,
ओके।
yeah.
आजकल के ये बडिंग स्टार्टअप एरा में
Hmm.
खासकर इंडिया का जितना ग्रोथ दिख रहा है हमें, तो स्टार्टअप्स का एक बहुत बड़ा हाथ है।
Right.
तो सर आजकल हम देखते हैं कि जेनज़ीज़ हैं, वो बहुत सारे न्यू स्टार्टअप्स लेके आ रहे हैं, बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग इंटरेस्टिंग स्टार्टअप्स आ रहे हैं। सो ऐसी कौन-सी एडवाइसेज़ आप जो उनको देना चाहोगे कि एज़ एन एंटरप्रेन्योर आई शुड बी नोइंग कि ओके, दीज़ आर द थिंग्स दैट शुड बी केप्ट इन माइंड बिफोर स्टार्टिंग अ बिज़नेस एंड व्हाइल इवन रनिंग अ बिज़नेस?
So two, three things, I guess. One, I must congratulate all the new startups. I think they're very, very intelligent.
Yeah.
So intelligence is what they already have,
Mhm.
which means the intelligence should be supported with a lot of research, a lot of knowledge.
Mhm.
I think they have this thing thanks to all the new technology and the access to a lot of data,
Yeah.
and I think they're doing a very good job there. Second, I believe that in the entire phase, what I have understood in last 12 years is that while people focus on the top line, which is a very important part, the entire overall revenue, it is equally important to make sure that your profits are also in the place.
Mhm.
So बस नंबर्स के पीछे नहीं भागना चाहिए इन टर्म्स ऑफ क्रिएटिंग अ
Success.
नंबर कि यार तुम तो 1,000 करोड़ की 2,000 करोड़ की कंपनी बन रहे हो. इट्स इंपॉर्टेंट कि फाइनली व्हाट आर यू अर्निंग, व्हाट इज द प्रॉफिट एट द एंड
Mhm.
ऑफ द डे. So my suggestion to the entrepreneurs would be that they should equally be good with their knowledge and understanding of their finance and account, not just sales, not just product, but also finance and account. I personally believe finance and accounts is because of which you sustain over a period of time.
Mhm.
One fine day you may possibly run out of money from outside, but if you have ample money with you, you'll be able to get through with all
The
the times and
difficulties.
all
Yeah.
the difficulties. With you'll also be able to grow at a faster speed. You should not be simply giving out stake at all point in time just to kind of raise the money.
Yes, yeah.
So I think accounting and finance is what I think, I'm not very sure, but I think is what the new entrepreneurs are missing, and it's important that they take care of it.
Okay. As you being so successful and the business being so successful, the three of yours business,
Hmm.
talking about whether we talk about City Shore, Sinbad Restaurant Consultancy, or the City Shore TV that has
Right.
recently started.
Right.
So, sir, what are the things that you learned in this journey that you think that these are the things that were the biggest learnings for me?
Exactly what I told the new entrepreneurs to basically focus on, which is
Okay.
finance and account. I come from an HR background. My colleague, my co-founder Pallaf, he
Mm-hmm.
comes from process and quality background. So none of us were from business background, none of us
Mm-hmm.
were from marketing or social media, and also we learned it through, and we believe those are the things that you can learn.
Mm-hmm.
What we realized over a period of time is that managing your finances, regardless of whether you have 100 rupees or 100 cr rupees in your pocket,
Mm-hmm.
it's very important that you manage your finance and accounts in a wonderful way. And that's my biggest learning. Second would be to keep in touch with people that you've worked with in past, be it your client, your vendors, or your ex colleagues. And also, keeping in touch with people, basically networking, in other
Mm-hmm.
words, is another thing that I
Yeah.
believe I have learned over a period of time. And third, that I've realized, is I still believe uh, that honesty will remain the best policy. So one
Mm-hmm.
should be honest towards the approach. A lot of times you may not be able to give, let's say, benefit what you have committed. You may not be able to live up to it, but
Mm-hmm.
your intention of living up to that commitment, I think that matters a lot. And that's what I've kind of realized in the last few years.
Okay. Sir, over this journey that has went through, there would be fun parts in doing the business. कि कुछ ऐसे
Every day.
stories होगी behind the back story
ओ
ऐसे
यू
कुछ
यू
हो रही
यू
है.
मस्ट पॉसिबली पुट अ कैमरा, कभी मैं कैमरा का एक्सेस दूंगा मेरे ऑफिस का,
अच्छा.
और तुम दिन भर देखोगे और तुम दिन भर बस ऐसे ही सोचोगे कि ये लोग काम कब करते हैं.
Oh.
So we, I think every day is fun working at City Shore.
Mm-hmm.
Our people who are working with us have been working with us for a good number of years.
Mm-hmm.
Like if we are 12 years old, the oldest, if I have to put it, the person who has been working here, there are people who have been working here for 8 years, 10 years,
Oh.
11 years, that old. And that is essentially because of the kind of culture
Mm-hmm.
we all have created. I'm not the only one. Pallav and me, we are of course the originator, but we are not the only one who have been able to do this. So
Mm-hmm.
people whoever has joined us have contributed to creating the culture that we have created.
अच्छा.
And the culture is anything but serious. So we are
Mm-hmm.
very, very fun loving people. If you come in the evening, if you come in the morning, every time you'll come, and while you walk out from here, you will see the kind of people we have, and the kind of, right from their attire to their attitude to their talking to their everything, it is all
Just
fun.
free, yeah.
It is all fun every day, every
Okay.
moment. I mean, we don't have policy. Just to add to that, we don't have a single HR policy. I come from HR background. I've worked
Mm-hmm.
with Tatas and Reliances of the world.
Mm-hmm.
And one thing that Pallav told me when we started is the company is that, Pankaj, we will have everything but policies.
Mm.
So we don't have a single HR policy.
Okay.
Uh, we don't believe in doing that. Uh, People are given a lot of independence, and more than given, they have taken the liberty of designing their own things. So people have at their liberty, they do design a lot of things. They come up with their own way of doing things, which is why I think they find it fun, we find it fun.
Mm-hmm.
So for us, I guess work is fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, we enjoy
That's the
that.
best thing, because nowadays when a person is just start trying to get into a business or trying to get into hired in the company,
Right,
everyone talks about the business culture.
right,
The whole social media, if we will see the LinkedIn particularly,
right,
everyone talks about culture. And as you mentioned, and as what we saw as entering into the premises, we saw that how fun it is, because as you mentioned, the attire, the attitude, so that creates a great role.
Oh yeah, yeah, it does, it does. I
Yeah.
think it's a tops-down approach.
Mm-hmm.
It has to start. So Pallav, between me and Pallav, I think Pallav is very, very fun,
Okay.
and I guess that's where it started, the fun culture. And I think we've been able to sustain that thanks to all the people who have joined us after us.
Mm-hmm.
I think they all contributed, and everybody is very fun people here.
For sure. That's great,
Yeah,
sir. So, there are many social media platforms
right,
that have been emerging.
correct.
Like LinkedIn, if someone asks that 5 years ago what LinkedIn was, it was
Hmm.
not something that a great, or it paced up really good.
Hmm.
But nowadays we saw that LinkedIn is also doing so great,
Right,
and Instagram, Facebook, YouTube are the evergreen platforms that have been working.
right.
So, how does a digital marketer or a digital marketing services that you provide,
Hmm.
how do you pace with that ever evolving cultures, trends, and
So
the businesses?
you have to keep up to it. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
We are not in competition with Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, or whatever. We, basically ride on them.
Yeah.
So the more they grow, the more we grow.
Mm-hmm.
It's just about keeping yourself updated as to what new thing are they, are they
Launching.
going to introduce, or have they introduced the new trends, the new trending things, and stuff like that. And we kind of keep up to it, and we, instead of competing, I mean, there's no reason competing with them. We kind of ride on them,
Right
and
on.
we take use of it.
Okay.
Yes.
That's great. Sir, What was the biggest achievement of yours or CityShor that it organized an event, or which was the biggest achievement that it just achieved in the recent 12 years?
In 12 years, the kind, I don't know. I mean, it's a very difficult question. Pallav and I, we both are a little happy but never satisfied. So we
Yeah.
don't know the biggest achievement so far.
Mm-hmm.
But if I have to put it in one single word, I would possibly say that we've been able to garner
Mm-hmm.
a lot of attention, a lot of love and respect from the audience, and I would rate that as number one achievement. I would
Okay.
also possibly say the kind of people who worked with us and the way they have contributed to our life
Mm-hmm.
professionally, and the way we have been able to kind of contribute to their growth, overall growth in their career.
Mm-hmm.
I think that is a second achievement.
Okay.
I would leave it there. I wouldn't really consider anything else in terms of company's growth as my achievement or as Pallav's achievement.
Mm-hmm.
I think it is yet to happen.
Yet to happen. So let us start with a rapid fire round, if you don't mind, sir.
Sure.
Yeah. So the first question that of rapid fire I would like to ask is, describe your business in 3 words.
Lifestyle media company.
Okay. Describe your leadership style in 1 word.
Difficult.
Okay. What's your favorite way to unwind a long, busy day?
Get home
Hmm.
and chill with family.
That's great. Any book you would like to ask any and the new budding entrepreneurs to read?
Not just the entrepreneur, but to everybody.
Hmm.
There's a book called Tuesdays with Maury
Okay.
by Mitch Albom. I
Mhm.
personally find it my favorite so far.
Okay. So, what's the best piece of advice you have received?
Be a good human being.
Okay. And the last rapid fire question, if you wouldn't be an entrepreneur, what would you be?
Uh, HR professional.
Okay. Thank you, sir, for joining for an
Pleasure.
amazing and
Pleasure.
interesting episode of Hidden Hustle. We
Thank
would
you.
like to call again you and Pallav sir too for another podcast someday soon. So thank you, sir, for joining.
Thank you so much. All the best to all of you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
So thanks for joining for an insightful video of City Show where we talked about the journey of City Show. I hope you liked the videos and you enjoyed it too. Please make sure that you follow the Instagram handle, the YouTube handle, and the Facebook handle of CityShor Ahmedabad. And also make sure that you follow, subscribe, and join the channels of social media platforms of Hidden Hustle. Thank you.